What's up, everybody? I'm JC.
I'm Brittany.
And you're listening to...
Just Breathing with Lot and Lungs. No.
Nope.
Darn it! Look at the sign. You're listening to Just Breathing Home Edition.
That's good. We'll just keep that. We'll just keep that.
There it is.
Home edition. All right. So, hello, everyone. You're listening to Just Breathing Home Edition. This is a podcast that comes out on Mondays, and Just Breathing with Lot and Lungs, which Brittany just promoted, comes out on Fridays. And that one is just basically if we have time in the studio, or if we have guests that I bring into the studio to talk and have conversations. Those are a little different than what we do here on Just Breathing Home Edition. Home Edition is where we talk about things family related, home related, kids related, parenting related, marriage related, all that good stuff. So we're doing another Just Breathing Home Edition tonight. The kids are in bed. We are tired. And it's the best time to do a podcast, obviously. So you had a topic, though, that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun to talk about how do adults have fun. And what I mean by that is it seems to me that it's harder to have fun when you're an adult, which sounds really sad. And maybe that's not true for other adults, but I feel like it is. It's true for me. I feel like it's hard to just go and like choose to do something fun because I feel like I always should get something done. But I was thinking about that today because we had people over today and it was very fun. And we had them over for fun.
Right.
It was for fun.
It was purposeful.
It wasn't like, let's get something done and maybe we'll have fun. It was just like, let's get together and have fun. And it was. And I was like, that was good. I don't do that very often.
Yeah.
But I was just like, we could talk about maybe why that's so hard and how to get over that and how to plan for that.
I think that's the key, though. The last thing that you said is I think maybe the answer.
Right. But why is it so hard to plan for it? Why do you feel so guilty?
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you feel guilty for planning for fun sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Because I could
Why?
be getting stuff done that needs to get done. And I can't ever get everything done anyway.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, I wonder how many people watching or listening to this has the same difficulty.
Yeah.
You know, where it's hard to plan for fun. And part of the reason it's hard to plan for fun is because we are like self-saboteurs to that planning, for the guilt that we feel that we're like abdicating responsibility in order to have fun.
Yeah. Because I struggle with that even with like my kids. Like sometimes like I want to set aside a time just to be with them.
Right.
And I love my kids like a lot. But for whatever reason, I still struggle to like decide to just spend time with them and have fun. I feel like I need to somehow get something done, whether it's like teaching them something or like they're doing something with me as I get it done instead of just being with them in their play and just doing whatever they want to do, just to have fun, to be with them, to play.
Yeah. I wonder what that stems from, like ultimately, because I don't think it's all bad having those kind of dueling thoughts in your mind. I think we should always be thinking as parents, you know, is this activity leading somewhere?
Yeah.
You know, is this a teaching moment?
Right.
Is this, is this a waste of time?
Right. And
I don't think any of those are bad thoughts, but I wonder where it stems from that because I always think with everything, every decision in life, you know, the cliche is the angel and the devil on your shoulders.
All right.
But it's not a terrible cliche because there are always positive and negative alternatives to every decision that we make. And we're constantly having to make those decisions based on the pros and cons
Right.
of the situation that we're placed in,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So I just wonder though, where do you think because guilt is a strong word, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you feel guilty for having fun.
Right. I don't feel
guilty for.
I don't feel guilty afterwards,
Okay.
but I will before. Like that's what keeps me from doing it.
Yeah. So what do you think that stems from?
I don't know. I never thought about it.
I know. That's why we're doing this conversation.
What do I think it stems from? I think it stems from like I want to get a lot of stuff done, but I also feel like I should be getting a lot of stuff done.
Why?
Because the world tells me that I should be getting a lot of stuff done.
Who has ever told you in the world, if we're going to say the world tells me, who in the world tells you that you need to get certain things done?
Culture tells you that you need to get lots of things done because you look at TV, which I don't actually look at a lot. You look at social media, which I also don't look at a lot. That's telling you
so you're just checking all the things that don't tell you.
One of the reasons why I don't look at those things a lot. But everything that you see of the world, you see beautiful, clean houses. You see people who work hard and are doing well. You see just everything looks nice and tidy, which it's not actually all nice and tidy. Mm-hmm. But you feel like, well, I'm far from that.
From that, yeah.
I am so far from that I need to at least like get to some level of like some kind of belowness that's closer to that than what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you feel like you have to like just keep going, and then there's things that you love to do and you want to do as well. And if you don't get the things done that need to get done, that you won't have any time for the things you actually do enjoy.
Okay.
Which is still sometimes work for me. Because like there's certain things that I do, like music, I'll give that as an example. That's not something I need to do. That's not something I need to work on.
Right.
But I really enjoy working on that. So I guess you could call that fun. But like it still takes time. Like I can't just, like I still have to have time alone sometimes to do that. Mm-hmm. Or just some quiet without being interrupted like 5 bajillion times. And so I want to have time for that too. But yeah. I don't know. I guess this.
Okay. So social pressures are a factor that sort of lends to the idea that you need to have a beautiful house. You need to have kids that are well groomed and don't look dilapidated and homeless. Or the house looking dilapidated and homeless. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a factor. For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And that's one of the negative sides of social media is there are some people that put out the negative side of life.
Right.
Or at least try to, I think like the closest thing that some people get to is like no makeup days.
Oh,
where they'll post a picture of their beautiful face without makeup, and you're like, you still look good. Like, you still took a shower today.
Yeah.
That's a lot better than me.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here in my sweatshirt and basketball shorts, hoping that later in the afternoon I'll work out and get the courage to do that. You sitting there with your no makeup. Yeah, but it is hard. It is hard to get over that. But like you said, you don't watch a lot of TV.
No.
You don't look at social media. So is it something that you think just stems from upbringing or stems from
I don't know. I think okay. So maybe it's part of my personality. I used to be like a perfectionist. Like I was a perfectionist.
Right.
Like it was really bad. And now I'm not so much anymore. Mm-hmm. Like I give myself a lot more grace, but I still like have some level of like, I would prefer it this way. And when it's not, it like grates at me.
Yeah.
Grates at me.
Yeah.
And so.
Okay. So some past perfectionism that you're still kind of in the throes of,
right,
to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I also think it's just that, like most people nowadays, you have a lot to do. Like there's just so much to do. There's just so much to do that you're like, really? Can I justify like doing something fun when there is so much to do?
Right.
So.
Right. Well, and one of the things, and I do want to touch on the time aspect that you also mentioned, because I think that's really important, but I just want to kind of stay on this thread just for a little bit. You know, it's hard when you have kids because, and I want to just kind of like go back to the cultural pressures that maybe everyone feels. Right now in our culture, we're pressured to kind of pursue your dreams, you know, do what you love, you know, all of these, I think, wonderful things, follow your dreams, you know, all of these great phrases that do have some good intention behind them and have helped a lot of people do those things. But what's really difficult to balance is the responsibility that's real when you have children.
Right.
That is your job.
Right.
You know, you chose to bring that child into the world. That child is now your priority.
Right.
Not saying
they're super important.
I'm not saying to give up your dreams. I'm not saying to stop following, you know, or doing what you love. But it has to be after your focus on the children.
Yeah, like you can't neglect your children for your dream.
For your dreams. And some people are like, I'm working towards something that's going to benefit my children. And I worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, and I struggle with that. Like I'm prodding at you, but I don't think it's a personality thing because I have the same exact struggle.
Yeah.
I have the same exact conflicting narratives going on in my mind 24/7.
Right.
I get it. I totally get it. And I have more proclivity to trying to follow my dreams than you do. You know, once we got married, I've always been pressing you. What do you want to do? What are your dreams? You know, what are the things what are the talents that God has given you that you think you need to be pursuing? What are your passions? All of these things. I'm your biggest fan to go after those things. You're an amazing songwriter. I want to always give you the time to songwrite.
Right.
You know, so, but we're learning together. And it's a freeing thing when you can really get it down, but that your kids are first.
Yes.
And those things can still be on the table, but they have to be after children.
Right.
And I say freeing because once you're able to order your life in that way, you have structure now.
Yeah.
You know what comes first, so you know how to plan for what's afterwards. Right. You know, like my children are up from this time to this time. What am I going to do within that time to structure their day, to give them some order and to make sure I have those teaching moments, to make sure I have those opportunities for growth and for pouring into them. And then in those after and before times, what am I going to put in there to pursue my dreams? What am I going to put in there to make sure I'm still, you know, cultivating my passions and cultivating the things that I'm gifted in.
Right.
You know, but so it gives you a little bit of structure in your day. So I don't think any of the things that you're saying are wrong. I'm interested in the guilt thing though. And I think that kind of goes like, and I'm just focusing on that because I think that's a factor in your original question of why don't we have more fun?
Right.
Why is it difficult to have fun? And there seems to just be this guilt thing seems to be a major factor, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. That's what stops you from planning it.
Yeah. Do you think that fun is good for you?
I do.
Okay.
I think everyone should have days of or times of fun.
Right. And do you think that you having fun is good for your children?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. And I'm structuring it in this way because I think if we can kind of answer these questions, which you haven't answered yet, which is why we're talking about it right now, once we kind of figure out that me having fun is going to ultimately be good for my children. Because if we don't learn to have fun,
right,
and continue playing,
right,
play is good. Play is the quintessential way that your kids learn. That's why kids play, because they learn social cues. They learn interpersonal dynamics when they're playing with friends. They learn, mythos when they're acting out certain dramas in their play. It's an extraordinary learning opportunity to play.
Yeah.
And they grow closer to each other. I mean, our kids, for all the negative that happens within their play, especially together, they have such a bond that's created also through the play.
Yeah, that's so true.
And I think it's so important for us that we look at it with that same dynamic. That there's going to be bonds that are created through us playing with other adults. And plays seen, and this is where culture could come in, or society, or social pressures, or whatever you want to call it. It's seen as irresponsible. You played as a kid. You're an adult now.
Right. Yeah.
It's time to go to work.
Yeah.
But that's why imagination is lost in adults.
That's true.
I mean, a lot of the great writers, the C.S. Lewis's with Chronicles of Narnia, and the, J.R.R. Tolkien with Lord of the Rings and things they talked about that when they would play with their adult friends in the Inklings Club.
What did they play in the Inklings Club?
They played story time. They would tell stories to each other.
That's okay.
So they would go to the pub like adults. They'd get themselves a drink and they would play.
Yeah.
They would tell each other their stories that were fantasies.
Yeah.
These were pure imaginative worlds.
That's cool. I forgot that they did that.
But it's play.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't call it that because they were adults and they were civilized and all of these types of things, but they played.
Yeah.
And then they were able to create works that were so imaginative beyond the scope of any Netflix series that comes out now, beyond the scope of any, thing that we really see being birthed today. There's no new Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
There's not. There's plenty of fantasy novels, and they're a little weird.
Yeah, you can't top Lord of the Rings.
But people bring in their adulthood to a lot of these fantasies now, so they're highly sexualized. They're so violent that it's just gruesome.
Yeah.
It's hard to get into. Whereas you had some of the violence, but it was always contextualized in this, the good will always win out over evil.
Yeah.
And this long held, mythos of kind of the hero's journey. And I think they're able to create these beautiful stories, that resonated with people so deeply because they played.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think it invoked in people. I know when I read those books, especially, I read the Chronicles of Narnia probably in high school, beginning of high school, and Lord of the Rings I read a little before then. But man, they completely pulled me into that world, and I was able to play while I was reading them.
Yeah.
I was able to get in this mental state that lasted even after I stopped reading them. I was still in that world.
Yeah.
And it helped me exist in life. It gave me hope. It gave me, I could think back to these characters and have courage in other social situations. And the point of why I'm saying all of this is because I think play is so instrumental in helping us to navigate this life in such a dynamic way. And I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I never thought of it that much. I mean, that's really cool. I always thought of play as the things you said more in the beginning. It does help you learn as a child, but then as an adult, it helps you learn. Not only does it help build relationships, but it helps you learn what you do love to do. And it just kind of gives you a place to be creative and have that fun, but maybe not in the way that you did when you were a kid, like not, playing tag or, but just keeping you creative and enjoying life and being creative. I think being creative is really important. Yeah, but I never thought about it that much.
Yeah, me neither. I just made it up tonight.
I mean,
but it's good. I like
good.
it. No. I mean, I really love this question because I don't think about it. And that's the beauty of conversation is when you actually engage in it, you come to new understanding that we're always there, but you have to talk them out before you actually can.
Right.
You have to flush them out.
Yeah.
You really have to put them out there and test them.
Yes.
And see if these ideas are crazy.
Right.
And that's the beauty of having it with another person as opposed to just talking to yourself.
Right.
It is crazy when you're just doing that. But when you do it with another person, that person can be like, what?
Yeah.
Or
it helps you
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
So then I know I'm on a line of thinking that's not crazy. I know I'm on a line of thinking that maybe is touching at something that has truth. Yeah. So I think play is really important. I think, and I'm saying play because I want to kind of bring that childlike spirit back to the way that we have fun with adults. That's something that I personally, I struggle to have fun with adults because adults have forgotten how to have fun. And they've kind of made fun into these weird, simplistic abstractions of what fun is that I never engaged with in my entire childhood. Like nowadays, fun is like going to the bar.
Yeah.
I've been to bars. I didn't find them fun.
Yeah.
In the playful sense. Maybe I enjoyed a drink. Maybe I enjoyed a conversation. Maybe I enjoyed just being with other people. But I wasn't playing.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm engaging in the type of educational things that are involved in a childlike play in these types of settings.
Right.
And that seems to be like the only thing that adults know how to play in.
Is have like a conversation, you mean?
It's like, let's get together and hang out. And have a conversation, have a drink, have a, watch a movie,
That's true. That's true. Even though that can be fun, but it's not
can
as
be fun, but like what if we created together?
Yeah.
Right?
That would be cool.
You know what I mean?
The only examples I have of that is doing music with other people.
But there you go. There's something so deep and creative and imaginative about music that is so close to play.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry if anybody sees this fly that's flying around our room right now.
Got let in when the kids were looking.
Yeah, those that are listening have no clue, but those that are watching, I see it. It's annoying. I will kill it if it lands on this table. But yeah, I think it's so close to that childlike play that I think it's really awesome. And you feel differently once you leave like a writing session.
Yeah.
Where you've literally birthed a new thing.
Right. So I guess that's similar to when that one group, I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, of those authors. But when they would tell
the Inklings.
The Inklings, when they would tell stories together,
Yeah.
I guess. That's similar, just not in musical form.
Yeah, I read this very long book about it was only about maybe the lives of I think it was 4 of the members.
Mhm.
There was more that were involved in this gathering, but this club. But it was so interesting when, I mean, all of the lives of these men were very typical lives. They ranged in so many different ways, in terms of tragedy, in terms of, they lived very real lives. But when they were in the pub, conversing together, hearing each other's work, critiquing it, and there's something about that just it leaps out to me when I watch my kids play, because my kids will come up with completely original content, usually Star Wars related, but it's a brand new storyline, and they're creating it together. Usually one will put forth an idea, and then another one will say, I wish this was different, or and it's play.
Yeah.
It's play. And that's what these guys were doing in this club, was that they would put out a story and be like, why did that character do that? He would have said this, or she would have said this. It's play.
Yeah.
And I think we don't do it enough as adults.
Right.
I don't think we just play enough.
It'd be so interesting. I don't know where to find this information, but I know that there is a science behind just being creative in general, whether it comes in art or in music or in writing. But just creative works are really helpful for your brain.
Right.
And because they use it in a lot of restorative sort of care. And
music therapy.
Yeah, music. There's art. There's
painting.
So there's a lot that goes into that, but I'm just putting that out there because I thought of it and I wish that I knew more. Now I kind of am curious to know more, but if it's good for people who are trying to heal, it's good for people in general,
Well, have you ever been with friends and thought of politics?
I don't think about politics often.
I know, but are you thinking about broader social issues when you're playing with friends?
Not usually.
Right. How powerful is that because we know from, there are documentaries like The Social Dilemma, and there are books. I can't remember. I have it upstairs, but it's all about the way that television rewired the minds of viewers.
Oh, yeah.
And television was it, for a long time, and they learned as they did television how to keep you there, how to, all of these things. But they found that biologically it was actually rewiring the synapses in your brain.
I can believe that.
To bring you back to the TV, to keep you engaged, to, all of these different factors. And now we have social media, and we wonder why politics is such a major issue in our country, why we're so divided over it, why, people are constantly getting stuck in echo chambers on social media. Why is this such a big factor? And I think a lot of it is because we don't play enough with friends. Because when you're playing with friends, you're not thinking about this stuff.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do it enough playing with friends, that's going to be rewiring your brain. You're constantly shaping your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's how you shape your mind, that's going to be the way you think. And social media thinks generally negative because it helps keep you engaged. We're naturally inclined to go to the negative news articles and the negative posts and all of those types of things. But if we're devoting time and energy into play and into our friendships, that's going to rewire our brain to think, wow, the world is creative. The world can play together. The world, the most important thing is friendship.
That's actually now after you say that, it makes me think that is true. Like, not only what you just said is true, but when you are focusing on something else, specifically if you're creating or playing or in that way, your mind is now more focused on the unknown, which makes you be able to imagine new things, as in doing new things or just enjoying life more, or whatever it is that you might have felt stuck in before. Your mind is opened up to a little bit more, because usually, as I know from personal experience, when you focus on one thing all the time, that's all you think about.
Right.
That's all you think about all the time. And then you're just stuck there.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as you start to get out, you're like, oh, wait, I can do this. I can do that. Or there's different ways to get around this, or whatever it is. But yeah, that's a really good point. I was just, I think it's play is helpful because it helps you realize that there's more. There's more than just maybe what you were stuck in. I feel like I'm not saying that well, but I was just writing a song a couple days ago. Just like a few lines. It's probably not going to be anything, but the whole point was basically just remembering, like, who was there in the beginning. God was there in the beginning, and who is still there now, God, and he is reigning. And just kind of when we focus back on the things that really matter, then we're not so stressed out, and we're not so focused on the tiny things that aren't important, that seemed really big when we're just staring at them the whole time. But yeah,
it's true. It's so true.
So there's some reasons why play and creative things are good.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're never going to prioritize the planning of fun if you don't understand the benefits of it.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with you at all that there are other things that need to get done. Taking care of your home is extremely important.
Right.
Maybe the most important. And by home I mean the place where you live and the people that live there.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's probably the most important.
Yeah.
But there are other things that are also important to your health.
Right.
And to your life. And I think fun is a major player in that.
Yeah.
And I think if you don't understand the benefits of it, or at least conceptualize the benefits of it, I don't know if I truly understand the benefits of play yet.
No.
We just had this conversation tonight. I made this up now.
I think on things for months. So
right. So in a month we'll have some play. Maybe we'll get together with some people. No. But you just did it today.
Yeah.
And that's what really sparked the notion, wait, maybe I should be doing this more.
Yeah.
Why don't we do this more? And I think that's good. That's the first step, right?
Yeah.
Understanding that there's a problem. Isn't that what like Alcoholics Anonymous does or something like that?
I don't know.
I have no idea. But I think it's good. Well, let's wrap it up here. Do you have anything else?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
So I think another important thing is what you said in the beginning.
Okay.
So just planning. I think the more, and I think, I don't know, lots of people say this, but having that self-discipline is really helpful to just kind of plan out your days and first decide what your priorities are, and then plan out your days accordingly. That way, when you do plan in the fun, that helps you not feel as guilty, because you're like, these are my this is what's important. And you've planned it into your schedule in such a way that when it's time for fun, you also know that that's important. And you've already gotten You know that you're getting stuff done and you're going to get stuff done because it's all planned.
Well, so I think it's like prioritizing for rest.
Right.
You know, you work hard. Hard work is good. You work hard, but you have a planned time that you're going to rest already there. Mm-hmm. Not like the, thank God it's Friday type rest where you're just, I made it through.
Yeah.
Like, no, work hard
diligently.
And the rest is a reward, refreshing, get ready to do it again because you're going towards something. Working to just be done work is not fulfilling. You should love what you're doing. You should love the work that you're doing, even if you hate it.
Yeah.
Even if you hate it right now. I'm in a job that I don't love. I love doing this podcast. This is not my job. I have a full-time job on top of this and a part-time job that I love my part-time job, but my full-time job is there as a responsibility to my family and to our livelihood. But at the same time, I want to work hard and feel accomplished in that too.
Yeah.
Even if you hate your job, and this is something I've had to learn over many years because you just get into a state where like, how do I get out?
Yeah.
How do I get out? And then you're going to go week after week to, I can't wait till it's Friday so I can just be done with this.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's not a good mental place to be in. If you're there, make the most of it. Work hard so that at least, even if no one at your job, even if your supervisors and managers and whatever don't even care about the work that you're putting in because it's a toxic environment or whatever the case may be, you can feel accomplished and your worth in that place.
Right.
And that is a much more fulfilling thing to go into the weekend and maybe have a rest day than just being done.
Yeah, that's a really good
because
point.
Then you're just that entire weekend. In the past, I would just dread Monday.
Yeah.
I don't dread Mondays now.
Yay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I can get through the week and know I did my best.
Yeah.
I did my best. I have other interests. I have other things that I'm working towards that I love. This is just, I'm so blessed that it's there.
Yeah.
I don't have to love it. But yeah, I'll just end it on that. Feel accomplished wherever you're at.
Right.
In yourself, even if those accomplishments aren't, praised.
Yes. Yeah.
In those places. But
that's good.
Yeah.
Good advice. I like that. That's all I had to say.
Okay. That was good. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for listening to another Just Breathing Home edition. We'll be back on Monday with a new one. And if you have any thoughts on these conversations, always leave them in the comments. If you're listening to this on Apple Podcasts, leave us a review and let us know what you think of these podcasts. And I love to read those. Before you go on YouTube, make sure that you like this, that you subscribe, and that you hit that notification bell so you know when these podcasts come out. Mondays and Fridays are the dates right now. We'll try to stay consistent with all of those. So keep an eye out for those podcasts to come out, and we'll see you on the next one. Love you all. Bye.